She was very funny, very bright, you know, good personality.
She survived the terror of a life-threatening. Coming up, Christie ventures beyond modeling and into her own business and starts a family with rock star Billy Joel.
The island of St. Bart's. I had so many modeling assignments there that I would just stay put and people would come to me. We came back to the hotel, and as we were walking to our room, we heard some music in the bar. So we went in there, and Billy Joel was there, Whitney Houston was there, Elle McPherson was there, and now I was there too.
But it was kind of an easygoing bar, and I was drinking one of these frou-frou tropical things with the umbrella and the pineapple in it. And I sat down at the piano, and I was down there pretty much by myself. And I looked up, and there was Christie Brinkley.
And it was kind of funny. I was introduced to Billy, and he had gotten severely sunburned that day. He looked like a lobster. He was just the reddest thing in the world, and all shiny and everything. But he was hysterically funny. I mean, we just started laughing and, you know, talking and laughing. And me, having lived in Paris for so long, I didn't really know who he was.
And I don't think she recognized me at all. I knew who she was because I'd seen her on some commercials.
He said, well, you know, call me when you're back in New York, or I'll call you, and, you know, we'll get together, hang out, or whatever. But I couldn't remember where he said he was staying. He was like staying on top of some hotel in this penthouse, and I thought he said the San Moritz. When I called them, they said, no, he's not staying here, absolutely not. Well, he was, but I had forgotten that he had like an alias that you were supposed to ask for or something.
That was going through a series of names that all began with Al, like alibi, alimony, alcohol, I'll be down to get you in a taxi, honey. It got kind of absurd. But the hotel was instructed not to put through any calls where people asked for Billy Joel. So I think what happened was she said, look, I really know the guy, and he told me to call him, and they went, yeah, sure, and hung up.
Strangely enough, on that very same day, he decided to try and give me a call. And then we just sort of started talking on the telephone a little bit, and then eventually we went out for dinner, and we just got closer and closer.
Even in the glittery world of rock and roll, no one would expect Christie's radiance to be overshadowed. She was soon appearing with Billy in his music videos, the first for a song he wrote for her, Uptown Girl.
The song Uptown Girl is really done in the style of Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons, like Big Girls Don't Cry and Sherry and Walk Like a Man. And there's actually a Four Seasons song called Rag Doll. Ooh, rag doll, ooh. I love you just the way you are. Oh, that's where I stole that from, Rag Doll. Anyway, the story in Rag Doll is she's the poor girl and he's the rich guy. Well, with Christie, it was the other way around. She was obviously the glamorous model, and here I was, this grubby New York rocker.
The grubby rocker and the glamorous model were married in 1985 on a yacht in New York Harbor. Soon after, they decided to have a family. A few days after Christmas in 1985, Christie gave Billy the gift of a daughter, Alexa Ray Joel.
When to start a family is really difficult for models because their livelihood depends upon how they look. Not just their face, but their body.
I never gave any thought at all to what will happen to my career in terms of losing my figure or anything like that. I tried to go through and have a healthy pregnancy.
Here she was a very concerned mother-to-be. Her health has always been a major concern for her. And the precious thought of bringing a child into the world, and so excited, so very excited.
I absolutely love being pregnant. I feel that it's the most creative thing a woman can do. And I've always been a kind of a frustrated artist. I wake up every morning with a desire to create something, but I get caught up in the day and I can't always create something. And when I'm pregnant, I'm creating, you know. I'm creating a new life, a person inside of me. And so no matter what else I do that day, I'm being creative.
It was a great event, great event. We all shared in it, and Christie made a point to see that we shared in it, which was kind of nice.
Alexa is a true artist. This is someone born to create every day, and that's exactly what she does. Whether it's drawing, writing, books, poetry, or music, it's just wonderful. She's like this fertile garden that's just blooming with inspiration and ideas just bursting out of her.
She's quite a kid.
And that's not just because we're her grandparents. Anybody would be saying that about her.
Yeah, that's true. It's also because we were her grandparents.
She's a great mom. I think she's a natural mom. She's, you know, watching Christie with children, I can see that the child aspect of Christie. She's somebody who will get down on the floor and play, you know, the most childlike games with a kid and become a kid herself.
Several years had passed since Christie had devoted any serious time to drawing or painting. When her husband was looking for an artist to design the cover of his next album, River of Dreams, Christie took the opportunity to audition.
Billy doesn't like to be photographed. Never has, never will. And so he's always looking for some way to do an album cover that he doesn't have to be on it.
She goes, you know, you really just, you're not bad looking, you just don't have a lot of good photogenic angles.
So I went up into my studio and decided to do my first oil painting of my life.
So she was up there. I just figured she was off doing a project. When she emerged with this painting, I said, that's the album cover. You know, I never really assumed that she was going to do that. I was knocked out.
The Joels would share a decade together, raise a beautiful daughter, and enjoy a loving and happy relationship. Still, the hectic lifestyles of their high-profile careers would eventually lead to tension that would end their marriage.
Well, a lot of what was going on in my life was juggling. I had my career, Billy had his career. We soon had Alexa and her career as a child. It was exhausting, you know. It's like, okay, fly to Australia, take Alexa all the way down there so she can see her dad, so we can be with Billy, run around on a rock and roll tour for a couple weeks, then pack back up, run back to New York, do the jobs that I had to do.
She was, you know, sort of a warrior about it. She just did it and didn't really complain. She never complains, but it was a strain.
There's a lot of elements that go into a marriage starting to fall apart. And when some of the elements, when I started to notice some of them, I, you know, wanted to address them. I really wanted the marriage to work. I thought it was definitely something worth fighting for. And then it just didn't work out.
When we return, a terrifying accident nearly claims Christie's life and forces her to face a mother's worst fears.
Trying to rescue her from
She was still trapped on the mountain.
the mountain.
I just wanted to make sure she was okay. I mean, that was my main concern, my daughter and Christie.
Christie and the other survivors were on the mountain for more than 7 hours.